The candy shop looked peaceful that morning, but Eve had learned that quiet mornings often meant trouble was coming. A new shipment had arrived overnight, packed in a shiny silver box with a bright yellow sticker that said, "Sample Only." Eve placed the box on the counter and studied it for a moment. Inside were small round sweets in glass jars, each with a different label. One label caught her eye immediately. Truth-telling candy. She frowned. That sounds dangerous. Tommy, who was arranging chocolate bars on the shelf, looked over and laughed. Dangerous? Or useful? He asked. Eve opened the jar a little, and the candy gave off a faint blue glow. The smell was sweet, like strawberries and mint mixed together. The warning note inside said, "One piece reveals what the mouth wishes to hide." Eve read it twice, then closed the jar quickly. She was just about to put it aside when the shop bell rang. A woman in a bright red coat stepped inside, looking nervous and annoyed at the same time. She pointed at the candy jars and said, "I need something special." Eve smiled politely. "We have a lot of special things." The woman's eyes landed on the glowing jar. "That one," she said. Eve should have said no. The red-coated woman bought one piece and left almost immediately. But within minutes, she returned, staring strangely at the floor. "I have to tell you something," she said. Her voice sounded terrified, as if the words were being pulled out of her. "I did not come here for candy." Eve and Tommy exchanged a look. The woman swallowed hard. "I came because I lost a letter here years ago. I thought someone had hidden it." Eve blinked. "A letter?" Before she could ask more, a little boy at the counter chewed a truth candy by accident. His eyes widened and he blurted, "I'm not actually here for jelly beans. I'm here because my sister said I was too scared to ask for the giant lollipop." Everyone laughed, but the boy turned bright red. Then an older man near the register took a bite too. His expression changed instantly. "I never liked this town," he said, staring straight ahead. "I only stayed because I promised my wife I would." The shop went silent. Eve realized the candy didn't just make people honest, it made them say the things they had buried for years. By lunchtime, half the customers had tried the candy, and the shop had turned into a place of sudden confessions. One mother admitted she had eaten the last chocolate from the family box. A teenager confessed she had written a fake apology note to her teacher. Tommy, still curious, tried one piece himself and immediately blurted, "I think Eve is the only person who can actually handle this shop." Eve crossed her arms. "That's not a confession, that's just a fact." But the biggest surprise came when the red-coated woman returned with tears in her eyes. She handed Eve a tiny folded envelope. "I found this in my coat pocket after eating the candy," she said. "It was the letter I thought I had lost. I never knew it had been in my old bag the whole time." Eve opened it carefully. The letter was from a little girl to her grandmother, asking why she had never come back to the shop. The handwriting was shaky but full of love. Eve looked up. "This was yours?" The woman nodded. "I used to come here with my grandmother. She passed away before I could ask her everything I wanted to know." Now Eve understood. The candy was not causing chaos for no reason. It was pulling forgotten truths into the light. Eve gathered the staff and made a plan. She closed the truth candy jar and moved it behind the counter. Then she placed a small sign on it, "For emergencies only." But the day was far from over. An elderly woman entered the shop near closing time and stared at the sign for a long moment. She looked fragile, but her eyes were sharp. "You found the truth candy," she said quietly. Eve froze. "You know about it?" The woman nodded. "I helped make the first batch." Tommy nearly dropped a tray of nougat. The old woman explained that the candy had once been created to help people speak honestly when they needed to. It had not been meant for gossip or jokes. It was supposed to help people tell the truth before it was too late. She looked around the shop and smiled. "I wondered who would still be brave enough to keep it." Eve looked at the jar, then at the people around her, and felt the weight of the moment. The candy shop was no longer just a place to sell sweets. It was becoming a place where hidden things were found, and people changed a little after leaving it. She nodded slowly. "Then I'll keep it safe." That evening, after the last customer left, Eve stood alone by the counter and looked at the glowing jar. The shop was quiet again, but now it felt different. warmer, more alive. She thought about the woman with the lost letter, the boy with his fear, and the old man with his regret. A single candy had opened doors that years of silence had kept shut. Tommy came over and leaned on the counter. "So," he said carefully, "do we have any candy left that only tells harmless little lies?" Eve laughed. "Absolutely not." Then she smiled and placed the truth candy jar back inside the crate, which she locked tightly. She suspected this was only the second of many strange shipments, and she was right. The shop had a habit of revealing things people did not expect. Before turning off the lights, Eve looked at the front window and whispered, "Whatever comes next, we'll handle it." The reflection of the candy jars shimmered softly behind her, as if the shop itself agreed.